country's independence, but Jeff Locke stole the show Saturday at PNC Park. Another man looks to follow his showing this afternoon, but Garrett Cole has been doing it all season long. So will that continue today as he goes for win number 12 when the Bucks battle the Tribe next?
The holiday weekend continues on the North Shore. The Pirates coming off a 1-0 win over the Indians yesterday. Jeff Locke was spectacular on the hill. And today it's the rubber game as the Pirates go for a series win against Cleveland. Hi again, everyone, with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Ince-Mikowski joins us shortly. A great performance yesterday by Locke, expecting another good performance by the Pirates ace today in Garrett Cole. He leads the National League in wins with 11.
Oh, what an absolute wonderful season he's had to this point. The first half couldn't have really gone any better for him. He just has been dominant in many of his starts where it seemed like nobody could even touch him. Early in the year, back in spring training, we talked about different ways this team was going to be good. One of the things we brought up and we've talked about is Garrett Cole is going to have a breakout year, and he is certainly doing that right now.
Great numbers for Garrett Cole, our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Tonight is the night the All-Stars find out who is starting. Tomorrow the reserves will be announced. Who are the Pirates hopefuls? Well, certainly Andrew McCutchen hopes to be in that starting lineup. Francisco Cervelli might be making an appearance. Could it be the first appearance for A.J. Burnett after 17 seasons?
Well, we've already talked about Cole, and his first half is just amazing, but these are the other guys that are also hopeful, and you can make a great argument for every one of the guys that are on the screen right now. Who's it going to be? I don't know. I'm really pulling for A.J. I'd love to see him finally, after all these years, get to that All-Star game in his last year in the league.
A few of these guys hoping to help the Pirates pull off a victory over the Cleveland Indians today. It is a Kids Day Sunday afternoon as the Pirates try to steer their way to a win over the Tribe. Lineups and first pitch coming up. PNC Park for the third and final game against the Cleveland Indians. First time he's made an appearance against the Indians. McCutchen has played against him before, and Andrew looking forward to another all-star selection perhaps tonight. We'll find out. Starling Marte signing his name and giving out high fives. Kids Day Sunday afternoon at PNC Park. Gorgeous day for a ball game. Absolutely perfect. We hope you're having a great holiday weekend. Continuing with us here, watching Pirates baseball. Let's take a look at the Honda lineup for the Indians today. Written up by Terry Francona. Jason Kipnis will lead off. Francisco Lindor, then Michael Brantley in the third spot. Santana back at first. Moss in right. Urshela, 13-game hitting streak. And Michael Bourne, career versus the Pirates, 288 hitter. Roberto Perez doing the catching, and Danny Salazar will come to the plate, get his first plate appearance of the season.
Take a look at Cole's numbers this year. We got done in that opening. We were praising what a season he has had, and he should be a shoo-in, obviously, for the All-Star game. I'd like to see him have a dozen wins. That would be a nice little feather in his cap. But boy, those numbers are great to look at. 108 strikeouts and just a little over 100 innings.
Defensively for the Pirates, Jung Ho Gung back out there today. He's playing third base. Mercer, Walker, Alvarez, the rest of the infield. Marte and McCutchen left and center, and Josh Harrison starting in right. Gregory Polanco in the dugout today. Chris Stewart doing the catching as he has done with Garrett Cole this season. So Cole and Stewart, the battery today. It's a combination that has worked out quite well. Cole with an 11-3 mark. He'll have today's start and one other start before the All-Star game. His next start will be in a big game as well, Friday against the Cardinals. Take a look at today's Rivers Casino tips to win.
I would love to see Cole. I just talking about this. Have a dozen wins when he goes to that All-Star game. I mean, he might have 13, but a dozen. I mean, that's kind of a neat number to show up there with. Today would be big. Means that we take 2 out of 3 again and save some fireworks. That's kind of talking about the second half of the season there. I know that it means a lot for today, but second half of the season, the difference between this offense this year and last year, we're not hitting the home runs. We did in Detroit. I mentioned to you then as Cole's first pitch is low that maybe that would be a something that starts, gets us going. And I hope that's true.
Neil Walker hoping to continue what he started in Detroit.
Well, that's the home runs. He is one of the guys that is down this year in long balls. So he certainly could hold the key to that. Pedro also.
1-1 pitch to Kipnis is inside. We're at the exact halfway mark of the regular season. This is game number 81 with 81 to play. 2-ball, 1-strike offer. Kipnis check swing. Foul ball. Count is even 2-2.
Cole wins today and put him on pace for 24. I can do that math.
Angel Hernandez calling the balls and strikes today.
Wouldn't that be amazing? 24 wins.
Be pretty good.
That would be incredible. I mean, it's so tough nowadays to even win 20.
2-2 outside corner. Got him. Call. Strike 3.
97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it was a borderline pitch. He got the call. Yeah, maybe an inch or so off the strike zone, but with 2 strikes, sometimes you get lucky. You get a call like that.
Francisco Lindor, the switch hitting shortstop, batting second. 211 his average. Pitch inside to him. Lindor along with Urshela, the left side of the Cleveland infield. Both June call-ups from AAA. They have done a very nice job, very respectable job, both defensively and offensively. And they helped out the Indians to a 5-game winning streak, which ended yesterday with that 1-0 gem by Locke. Terry Francona, New Brighton native. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lindor. And Locke had pitched 1 complete game in his career. It was in the minor leagues. I asked him today, was it a 9 or a 7? He said it was a 7-inning complete game that he pitched in the minor leagues.
It's all right.
Part of a doubleheader.
It was a CG. That's all it counts.
2-1 is hit right at Walker. He still has time. Lindor didn't run.
No, Lindor, he wouldn't have beat it out anyway, but he thought he had lined out. He had given up. He saw it roll away and had to pick up the pace again.
Walker not quitting on it, and ends up getting the easy infield assist, as it turns out. Two men out for the Indians.
No, you don't want putouts. You want assists if you're a fielder.
Unless you're a first baseman or a catcher. Those are the guys who get all the putouts.
I know that both they want even assists even more. And putouts really don't mean a whole lot. It means you caught a throw. Assists.
That's essentially what it does mean.
Yeah, assists. And that means something.
Cole gets ahead of Brantley 0-2. Fought that one off. It's a foul ball. Count stays 0-2. Stewart was ready to jump on it had that ball stayed fair. Hard to tell whether it hit him or not.
I didn't see anything.
It did roll foul ultimately.
In that shot. So, you know, man, it's hard to tell for an umpire. I mean, we're looking at it slow-mo, and we're not positive either way. I think most of the time you kind of go a little bit by the reaction of the hitter. He kind of takes a hop like it hit his foot. Well, yeah, okay, hit your foot.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Garrett had a no decision in his last game against the Tigers. It's just his 3rd no decision over his last 22 starts. Normally he is involved one way or another, and more often with a win than anything else. Stays 2-2 to Brantley. Brantley played center field yesterday, went 0 for 4. Cole's 2-2 pitch to Michael Brantley. Got it. Call. Strike 3. 2 punch outs in the inning for Cole. Pirates to the bat rack. striking out 2 looking. Take a look at the Toyota starting lineup for the Pirates. Josh Harrison in the leadoff spot again. Then Neil Walker, Andrew McCutchen 3rd, Marte cleanup, Jung Ho Gunbats 5th, Pedro Alvarez 6th, Jordy Mercer 7th, Chris Stewart 8th, and Garrett Cole will bat 9th. And we'll face Cleveland right-hander Danny Salazar, who is 7-3.
Salazar has excellent numbers, and one of the things that we're going to notice about him right here in the first inning, he's not a real big breaking ball guy. He throws hard, he's got a good velocity on his fastball, mixes in quite a few splitters, but basically he's going to come at you with that fastball. That good stuff, good young arm. Well, the Indians have those, don't they? Good young arms.
They have some good young arms. Yesterday, Cody Anderson, boy, what a performance he had in a complete game loss.
Yeah. Just 8 innings of it.
Yeah.
But it's CG in the book.
It is.
What counts.
That's what you get with a complete game
It's like
loss on the road.
Like if you got a hit, nobody's going to ask you if there's a blooper or a line drive to hit the book.
Well, 1 pitch, and that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, we saw Anderson and Trevor Bauer the night before, who was very good. The Indians have put a pretty good collection of arms together. And lately, they've been on a roll. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh with 2 doubles in the game yesterday, and his 2nd double in the 6th inning.
Amazing how that works. You get a good starting rotation and start playing well.
That helps.
That's been the recipe for a long time.
Harrison foul tips it into the glove of Perez. And there's 1 out. Strikeout number 1 for Salazar.
We're going to chase a 96 a little upstairs right here. There's going to be some good fastballs thrown in this game this afternoon.
Well, you can expect to see the numbers for Salazar in the mid to upper 90s. He has touched 100 on the gun before. 2 young, hard throwing right-handers in this game. Neil Walker drops a bunt down as the 3rd baseman, Urshela, was playing over towards short. Gave Neil a lot of room. Neil was just trying to get on base.
Good idea. If they're going to give you that bunt, go ahead and take it. Get yourself on there for Kutch.
Nothing in 1 to Walker. He drove in the game-winning run in the 6th inning yesterday. Driving in Harrison after Harrison's double. It was the 31st RBI for Neil. He extended his hitting streak to 8 straight. Two balls and a strike. Pittsburgh kid facing Salazar. 2-1 is swung on, and that's strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, we saw Locke retire 19 straight yesterday, but Salazar in his last outing Tuesday retired 15 straight over 5 innings to start the ball game against Tampa Bay. Three and 2. McCutchen on deck. Kutch is hitting 11 straight. Walker up in the air to left field. Waiting for it is Brantley. 2 men out for the Pirates in the bottom of the 1st inning. Defensively for the Cleveland Indians, Michael Bourne out there in center field again. He was there on Friday night, not yesterday. Brantley and Moss flank him. Urshela, Lindor, Kipnis, and Santana the infield left to right, with Perez catching Salazar. Puerto Perez giving Yan Gomes a break today. Here is McCutchen. Ball 1 to Kutch. Had a home run Friday night. 2-run shot in the 4th inning. It was his 10th of the year. McCutchen now tied with Bill Mazeroski for 9th all-time on the Pirates home run list with 138.
Nice pitch, one of the rare breaking balls. Looked like a slider that Salazar will throw.
2 balls and a strike.
They made the play with cast on each arm. That's pretty impressive. And a foul ball already in this game.
Swinging bunt. Kutch has to hustle. Perez hops on it, throws him out. And the Pirates gone in order in the first. Head to inning number 2 at PNC Park.
Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. By Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Bucks.
We'll stay out on the river today. Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh. No score as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. Fan with a fan. Garrett Cole will face the cleanup man Carlos Santana, the switch hitting first baseman, batting left. Ball 1 to Santana. Santana, then Moss, then Urshela. Those are the scheduled hitters here in the 2nd. Two balls and no strikes to Santana. 0 for 3 yesterday, hit into a double play his first time up. Cole comes back and induces the swinging strike. You guys are buddies. Go Bucks and go Tribe.
Must be Youngstown.
Midway point here to Cleveland. 3 balls and a strike. Where the Pirates are defensively against Santana. 3 on the right with Walker out at short right field. And ball 4. Leadoff walk.
Kind of scattered that all over the place. That at bat. Up, down, in, and away.
Park University tweet: is there any more pressure on a starting pitcher when he has to follow an exceptional outing by a teammate the previous day?
You know, I don't know if I would call it pressure. You know, you kind of think about it a little bit, but I don't think it's necessarily pressure.
Cole deals a strike to Brandon Moss.
But there is a little something there. It does get on your mind. Maybe not so much the day you're pitching, but yesterday, you know, as the game's going along, Cole, I'm sure, is thinking about, I'm facing these same guys tomorrow. as they're being just mowed down by Locke.
Moss, a base hit to center. The Indians now with first and second and nobody out.
Breaking ball, pretty good spot. A back door at the knees, and we even don't went off the end of the bat. It went for a hit. Sometimes you got to be a little lucky. Well, in that first inning, Cole got some breaks with some calls that were just off the plate. You could say that that was kind of his luck, and now a hitter safely gets to first base because he didn't do a very good job hitting the ball. Barely got the end of the bat on it, but it's a knock. Good pitch there, fastball at the knees. 97.
Giovanni Urshela, 13 straight games he has hit in. He has had one hit in each of those games. They've all been singles. And a ground ball towards short here. Mercer flips to Walker, back to first, double play.
No, you certainly don't think of Cole as being a big ground ball, double play guy like you would think of, say, Morton, for instance. But doesn't matter who you are, that double play is a huge friend. It's kind of the same type pitch that he gave up the hit on. A good breaking ball down in a good spot off the end of the bat, except this one is just a weak ground ball.
Good turn on our Chick-fil-A double play.
Fortune swings the other way.
Well, Michael Bourne, the batter, he swings and fouls it off for strike one. Santana down at third. He reached on the leadoff walk, went to second on the hit by Moss, and over to third on the double play ball hit by Urshela. Two outs and the count is 0-1 to Bourne. It's 1-0 Cleveland. That ends a string of 11 straight scoreless innings thrown by Pirates pitchers against this Indian team. That's the fourth RBI of the series for Bourne.
Bourne, no matter where he's played, seems like he's a kind of a thorn in our side. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. I think it's interesting that both these guys today have premium fastballs. They're very, very hard throwers. So Stewart kind of upset the catcher. He didn't like that stuff either. But their fastballs actually get hit at a decent rate. Cole's his batting average, opposition batting average against his fastball is 262, and Salazar is at 278. So I mean, that's something you don't expect. Two guys, they're some of the hardest throwing starters in either league. They throw so hard sometimes you can't even catch it.
Here's Perez, and he will take a strike. You mean at first? Anywhere. 0-1 to Perez. He's in the hole 0-2. Another one, upper 90s, 98 miles an hour. Throwing some gas early on. No ball, 2-strike pitch. Bourne takes off, pitches a ball, throw down, and it's into center field. And Bourne will get to third easily. Well, stolen base by Bourne, and then throwing error will get him down to third.
Bad toss. Not much Walker is going to be able to do on that.
1-2 coming to Perez. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Michael Bourne can really run. He's stealing lots and lots of bases over the last several years for his other teams. The Astros, Braves, now the Indians. Count full to Perez. Three-2. Ground ball to third. That's through, and it's 2-0.
Seeing eye ground ball. There's a couple of unfortunate things have happened to Cole here this inning. A little off the end of the bat to a ball that he was able to kind of overcome that, but then there was the poor throw, and then now this ball that just misses 2 gloves by about 6 inches.
Pitcher Salazar is 0 for 5 at the plate in his career. He has struck out all 5 times. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. 1-1.
I don't think he'll hit Cole if he has a hard time putting most guys in play.
Anybody. Doesn't put anybody in play. I have a feeling he's not going to put Garrett in play either.
No, especially if he never swings at a strike.
And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 runs come in. 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left.
By the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers, and by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks.
Our Day Automotive, this day in Pirates history. July 5th, 2004. Pirates beat the Marlins 3-1, their 10th straight win. Kip Wells pitched 8 shutout innings, striking out 8 and allowed just 4 hits. Josh Beckett didn't fare well, giving up an RBI double to Craig Wilson in the first, a homer to Jose Castillo in the second. He lasted just 4 innings. A tough inning for Garrett Cole, one that we're unaccustomed to seeing out of the right-hander. 2 runs on 3 hits. The Indians hadn't scored a run against the Pirates in 11 innings up until the top of the second.
Well, it was kind of some soft hits there. basically what happened to him. You know, poor throw on the steal.
So for the Pirates, Starling Marte will lead off the second inning.
Got a seeing eye ground ball. That's kind of stuff you try and and just put out of your mind when you're sitting there in between innings. Okay, yeah, I gave up a couple of runs, but there's no reason for me to change anything. There were just a couple of soft hits. What are you going to do? Just keep doing what you are doing.
One pitch. And a strike inside. Marte finds himself down 0-2. 281 the average for Starling. Equaled his career high in home runs with 13.
You can see that number 2 pitch. That's kind of a weak area for Marte where he doesn't hit the ball well. Of course, normally if you take that, it gets called a ball.
Marte down on strikes.
But even
strikeout for Salazar.
the up and in strike zone area is a weak spot for him.
We want to see your strongest fan photo today. Use the hashtag #PittDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. So send us your photos. Again, use that hashtag #PittDataStrongFan. Show some of them on the air today. One out. Jung Ho Gung takes the ball low. Ball and 1 strike. Numbers for Jung Ho. And he is now 1 ball 2 strikes. Salazar ready to go, and the 1-2 pitch. 2-2. This is just the second National League Central team that Salazar has faced. He's faced the Cubs, got a no decision. A career high 7 wins this year for him. Never faced the Pirates before. Pedro Alvarez waiting on deck. And the 3-2 coming to Jung Ho Gung. Struck him out.
Got to have your fastball hitting shoes on today.
Batting
Both
6
teams.
for the Pirates, first baseman, number 24, Pedro Alvarez.
Junior PA announcer with regular PA announcer Tim Tobacco right there helping him along.
How does announcer voice going?
Put a little extra on it at the end.
A little pizzazz.
Strike 1 to Pedro. You got to figure he's going to see some fastballs against Salazar. A lot of pitchers will throw him an occasional one. Mostly changeups. Time to get a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Fouled it off. And Salazar ahead 0-2. Pirates are 11-1 at home during day games this year. Got a great record at PNC Park under the sun. And Salazar strikes out the side. He's got 4 in the game. Go to the third. Cleveland 2, Pirates 0.
Pirates GM Neil Huntington spent a lot of time with the Cleveland Indians and developed a brand new facility in Bradenton that features a brand new wall, and it's a wall he also took up here to Pittsburgh. This is outside the Pirates clubhouse as you take a walk entering the hallway toward the Buccos clubhouse. This is something that started in the brand new facility in McKechnie Field, and Huntington took up here. Now, he draws from that experience because from 1998 until 2007, Huntington worked for the Cleveland Indians as part of his job was overseeing the move of their spring training operations from Florida to Arizona. Now, Huntington told me a lot of the foundation for the new clubhouse at McKechnie, the research and the thought that went into it, and the process of putting it together, all came from his experience with the Cleveland Indians. He was a special assistant with Cleveland before he came to the Buccos back on September 25th, 2007. Of course, the Buccos are better since Neil Huntington has become the general manager, but a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, Tim and Bob, that you see is all the result of Huntington's work, all that started back with the Indians.
Yeah, and he worked hard. He was very much involved in the process of getting the facilities constructed. Kipnis to the right field corner. J-Hale played off the wall, and Kipnis into second base with a leadoff double.
Kipnis has that gaudy batting average. Doesn't matter how good you are out on the mound, that guy can hit.
And he hasn't hit much this series.
That means he's due. To me, that's always scary. If I'm playing against somebody that's real good and they haven't done much in the last few games, I don't like that. A little leery.
He had dropped down to the lead in the American League in batting average, down to third. His punt toward third base. Gunn's got it. Flies over to first base, and Lindor with a sacrifice punt moves Kipnis to third base easily.
The Indians right now, they're just looking to add on to their 2-run lead. They're not looking for a big inning. At that leadoff double, let's just see if we can make the lead 3 runs. And with the guy they have on the mound, that might hold up. Salazar awfully good. 1 run here would be big, and the Pirates obviously know that. They're bringing the infield in tight here in the 3rd inning.
Good block by Stewart. Keeps Kipnis at third base. 1-0 to Brantley.
Hard breaking ball. That one was a tough one to block. So far away from where Stewart thought that ball was going to be, or where his target was. Going to move a long way to his right to try and get in front of that one.
2 balls, no strikes. Brantley struck out to end the first. Two-0 pitch. And it's now 3-0 Cleveland. Brantley an RBI single. And the Indians cash in on the leadoff double and the sacrifice.
Just kind of fighting off that ball, trying to go the other way. He's doing his best not to put the ball on the ground, and he accomplished his mission. We got a perfect pitch to get over the infield also. That ball elevated out over the plate. If he was going to ask for a pitch in a location to do that with, that's what he would have asked for. A fastball up out over the plate. That's something I can get out to the outfield just even easily. A soft hit and score that run. His goal was stay away from the ground ball, because that might be at somebody.
5 hits for Cleveland now. Santana walked and scored the first run of the game in the second. Strike called to him. It's 0-2. Sirich and Francisco Cervelli observing. 0-2 to Santana. Will wait to throw to first. Former teammate Garrett Cole's at UCLA, pitched Friday. Trevor Bauer. Some competition on that staff to see who is the best pitcher. You have a college staff where a guy goes #1 overall in Cole, and then #3 overall in Bauer.
Pretty good 1-2 punch they had there.
I would say. Ground ball to third base. Gunn. Mercer takes the turn. That's a double play. 5-6-3. Second double play of the game for the Pirates. They trail 3-0. Cleveland, and the Indians with a 3-0 lead. And the parent with one of his many pieces of equipment that he uses. And before the game, he was out as camera bird. Jordy Mercer confiscated the camera, took his own shots.
Remember those
camcorders?
Yeah, they had to put on your shoulder.
I know. Yep. Apparently one still exists.
Yeah, there it is.
Now you just use your phone. 2 balls and no strikes to Jordy. 246 the average, pretty good as you consider what he did at the beginning of the year. He's going back to the mean, I guess.
Like the last season. Same, it's just repeating itself again. Off to a very slow start, and then about the last 4 months of the season, he was one of the better hitting shortstops in baseball. I don't think that was a camcorder.
No. That's our version of the camera bird. That's Terry.
Yep. There's no VCR tape or what do you call those?
VHS tape?
VHS tape in there?
No.
Got to run that to a truck real quick.
Pirates get a base runner. First one off Salazar today, so nobody out. Mercer down to first base. Take advantage of the special ticket offer for the series against the Padres beginning tomorrow through Wednesday at PNC Park. Get discounted tickets now for as low as $12 for any of the 3 games. Purchase your tickets at pirates.com/weekday. Great way to spend your weeknights this summer. This week, come out and see the Bucks and Padres. Seats available, and love to have you down here to see the Pirates take on the Padres' only visit of the season. Pirates owe the Padres a little bit too. They've come in here the last few years and left with series wins. And Bucks can't let that happen this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a different story this year.
But you can root for the Padres today. That's okay because they're going for a series win against the Cardinals. That game's just underway in St. Louis. They've won 2 of the first 3 in that 4-game set. Lance Lynn pitching against Ian Kennedy today. Danny Salazar with a 1-1 count on Chris Stewart. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stewart had a 3-hit game Tuesday in Detroit. A 14-inning game. He caught 13 of the 14 innings in that ball game. Pirates would ultimately win. 2-2. Mercer not going anywhere. Perez kept the ball in front. If the Bucs can do anything with this leadoff walk to Mercer. No hits yet against Salazar. Garrett Cole waits for his turn. Stewart to left field. That's a base hit. And there is the first hit of the game for the Pirates. And a good opportunity here for Cole to move 2 men over with nobody out.
Yeah, this is what you're always hoping for. Get your pitcher up there. Maybe not necessarily Cole, because he's a pretty good hitter, but get your pitcher up there where he can bunt. Do something positive by just getting a bunt down. Stewart, just another base hit. He is not only come up with a lot of hits, it seems like he's come up with some very important hits this year. Games he's been in. Pretty much has taken over as Cole's personal catcher.
Pitch to Cole. He bunts it foul. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to Garrett. He has 3 sacrifice bunts this season. Pulled it back, took a ball. 1-1. Part of the trick of that is to know when to pull that bat back.
Not when it's a strike. I mean, anytime you get the sacrifice sign, it's not a sign that says, you know, you're looking for a walk. You have to try and bunt the ball.
Strike 2 to Cole.
Now Cole is supposed to be bunting this ball to third. So I don't understand how he could bunt a ball foul to the first base side.
I'll draw that third baseman or Shella in. And
well, if you bunt the ball to the third baseman, you have done your job, because he's got one play. Throw the ball to first. If you bunt the ball to the first baseman, this happens. There we go. That was kind of right on cue. That's why you bunt the ball to third.
Not the intended outcome there, but you're right. I mean, put it down the wrong side.
This is baseball 1-on-1. I mean, all spring training. Okay, you're bunting a ball to third. You bunt the ball toward third. You bunt the ball to third. The guy's going to third. You bunt the ball to third. Make the third baseman handle the ball. If he comes in to can't get the ball, there's nobody at third to now catch a throw. But if you bunt the ball to the pitcher or you bunt the ball to the first baseman, they could get that force out over there.
Fielder's choice for Cole. Mercer forced out at third. 2 on 1 out for Jay Hay. Hits this one foul into the upper deck on the right side of the stadium. Jay Hay all day at the Marte Parte. Neil the real, he's got all the sayings down there, isn't he? Spent some time on that side. Strike two, foul ball, same place. Pirates with 2 on, 1 out.
I see him.
See who?
The cow.
What cow?
Oh, maybe that wasn't a cow.
And J.A. chases strike 3. That was a waste pitch by Salazar, and Harrison went after it. He struck out twice.
They got him to chase out of the strike zone up about shoulder high the first time. This time goes down by the feet.
J. Haid like that at bat back. Cole at first, Stewart at second, and Walker at the plate. He's 0 for 1. He flied to left field. Salazar is susceptible to the home run. He's given up a dozen of them. Pitch. Now it's 1-1 to Neal. Stewart has the only hit for the Pirates this afternoon. He's at second. Bucks down 3-0, bottom of the third inning. Right back at you. And the 1-1 to Neal. Thrown out to second base, and Stewart's a dead dog. Well, the inning started with a lot of promise, and it turned out to be not so good.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross, Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
3-0 Cleveland. 5 hits for the Tribe, 1 for the Bucks. Stewart picked off a second base to end the inning. Just kind of drifted off, and Perez realized it, threw down to Lindor, the shortstop. Chris had nowhere to go.
I'm thinking that he thought that was strike 3. What other explanation is that? For like, didn't it look like he was starting to walk toward the dugout?
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I can't believe that he just got that far off the bag and didn't took another couple of steps. But I think he saw the swing and miss and somehow lost track of the count. Maybe, I don't know. That's as good an explanation I think as any.
Either way, an inning that started out first and second, nobody out, and then the bunt to the wrong side of the infield by Cole, and things went downhill from there. Top of the fourth, and Brandon Moss will lead off, the right fielder.
Well,
which is inside to Moss.
In a game like this against a very good pitcher, an inning like that can really hurt you later on. Missed opportunity. First two guys in the inning get on. Don't get them bunted over. And a base running mistake. But it doesn't matter now. You have to absolutely just turn the page and continue playing the game and hope you can get by that, overcome it, make up for it somehow.
One down as Moss lines out to Alvarez, and Giovanni Urshela hit into a double play in the second inning, comes back up. Another packed house here today at PNC Park on this holiday weekend. It was nice to get home at a reasonable time last night after a 4 o'clock game that lasted 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's the quickest game in a few years for the Pirates. It was actually 2 minutes shorter than the rain delay the night before. Had a rain delay of 2 hours. 2 hours and 8 minutes. Yesterday's game was 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's a diet hot dog right there.
Very good looking dog. It's the hot dog weekend.
Good thing about that dog, there's no calories. Eat as many as you want.
This weekend's all about food. Grills are going all over the place. A little cold something to go with it. Of course, I'm up here, what is it, like 80 something today, and I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah.
Figure that out. I can't.
Broken bat roller. Cole calls for it and throws him out. Urshela's 0 for 2, and the bat is finished with its work too.
Cole, nice job of not panicking on this and getting in too big of a hurry. Once he got over and picked up the ball, you can see he slowed himself down and made sure he threw a nice accurate throw. So right there, did a little bit of a pause. Got his balance on that back leg before he made that toss to first. No reason to get in a rush.
2 down, bases empty for Michael Bourne. An RBI base hit and a run scored in the second inning. .237 is his batting average. Tough guy to get on a slow grounder. Great wheels.
If Bourne hits that same ball, then you need to get in a rush.
Yes.
Know your runners.
Playing on the grass but off the line.
Of course, if Bourne hits that same ball, don't even run over there.
Put it in your pocket.
Well, no, let Gunk
You get it.
handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the pitcher, you don't even get involved going over that way. Gunk's right there on the grass.
And a ground ball to second. This will be easy pickings for Neal. 1-2-3 in the top of the fourth. Pirates trailing 3-0. Allegheny Health Network injury update. Few injuries around baseball. The Astros placed outfielder George Springer on the DL a few days ago with a broken wrist. He'll be out at least 6 weeks. Yesterday, the Cubs put catcher David Ross on the 7-day concussion DL after he began suffering symptoms following taking a few foul balls off his mask. He's had problems with concussions in the past. And the National Steven Strasburg left his start yesterday early with tightness in his side.
Can't stay healthy, can he?
Been tough.
He has been injury plagued basically his career. Tightness in the side.
Neil Walker gets a fresh count. He was at the plate when Stewart was picked off for second base. Strike one to Neil. Neil's 0 for 1.
Those are neck problems when he was having earlier in the year, wasn't he?
Yes. Walker rips this one past first base coach Nick Latham. Nothing in 2 to Walker. A lot of boat traffic this weekend. Not from the regatta per se. Unfortunately, the river conditions, weather conditions affected that, but still a lot of personal watercraft getting use of the Allegheny. And there were a lot of them out last night for the fireworks.
No kayakers. Too much current, maybe.
Walker down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Salazar.
Slider. I haven't kept a running total. Maybe I'll get one later on, but I got a feeling that I've seen a few more breaking balls than normal out of Salazar, according to what he throws most games. This last start, he threw 80% fastballs, 8 out of 10. I don't think
we're not seeing that today.
No.
Get one here though. It's outside.
I understand that he's throwing 73%, so that's more fastballs than I thought. Just guessing.
The 3-0 pitch to McCutchen.
There you can see the way it's been broken down.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Hutch hasn't taken the bat off the shoulder yet. He's got a full count. And the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. Swung on and missed. And Salazar struck out another one. That is 7. The nation will be watching when the Pirates play the Cardinals in prime time next Sunday starting at 8:05. Experience the electric atmosphere of the Central Division Showdown by reserving your seat today. Plus, all kids 14 and under receive an Andrew McCutchen and A.J. Burnett Cup, compliments of sheets and Coca-Cola. Get your tickets now at Pirates.com. 0-1 to Marte. So far this inning, Salazar and his catcher Roberto Perez have been playing some catch. There's 3 straight strikeouts going back to Harrison in the 3rd inning. Marte now 0-2.
It's what Steve Carlton used to always say, that pitching is nothing more than an elevated game of catch. Just keep it that simple. Of course, if you're as talented as Steve Carlton was, it was that simple.
Simple for him, and then you'd go out, wonder how you did that. Glenn Hurdle's going to have to come out, and so will Todd Tomslick. They want to check on Starling Marte.
Maybe a little dizziness here. Well, no. He's now he's moving his side around. First, I thought he was just being maybe a little dizzy, but saw him put his hand on his side and kind of stretch a little bit there.
Wasn't feeling too comfortable. Stretching his back a little bit.
It must not be much because it looks like he's trying to maybe plead his case that he's okay and that there's nothing to worry about. But there's something there. And you hope it's not just a kind of a warning sign thing that, you know, he takes another big rip and now pulls something and is going to be out for 3 weeks.
Salazar allowed to throw a couple of warm-up pitches with the delay. And now Marte ready to get back in. Two outs, nobody on. 0-2 pitch from Salazar. Fall off. Still 0-2. Starling struck out in the second inning.
Kind of an odd swing there. You know, seen him do that. Was that because of the pitch, or was it because he was afraid that that might hurt his side?
0-2 is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's kind of an emergency swing. Maybe to try to stay in there, foul it off. Yeah, it was not a good looking swing though. 1-2, and this one's fouled on the third base side.
Normal hack at that.
Feeling the effects of,
I don't know,
whatever that was before.
And now it looks like he's coming out of the game. Yep, he's leaving.
Gregory Polanco will replace him. The Pirates are not going to take any more chances with the health of Starling Marte.
I
so
think
he'll
Marte
come out.
called himself out of there. Right? He took that little walk. He started walking back toward the dugout. And he gave it a shot, and obviously it was still there on that foul ball. That's not good. I hope that he caught it early enough that if he pulled something, it would just be a few days.
So Polanco will now stand in with a 1-2 count. Brad Fisher writing that in the lineup card.
Well, Greg, you got 2 strikes on you. You're facing one of the hardest throwers. So get loose and be ready to swing the first pitch.
He's got to be ready to go.
So, I mean, it might be a splitter. It's like he's in a tough spot right now. This is no win. Of course, if he strikes out because there's 2 strikes, it goes on Marte, right? But if he gets a hit, he gets the hit.
He gets the hit.
Win-win. No lose situation for Polanco.
Here's Salazar's pitch, and it's a ground ball hit to short. Lindor is there. Throws across, and he gets Gregory by a step. 1-2-3 go the Pirates. In the bottom of the 4th, on to the 5th. 3-0 Tribe. and his hitting is better than ever before. Josh Harrison dives into a little coaching during his kids camp and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, today after postgame on Root Sports. UPMC scoreboard 3-0 Indians. Top of the fifth. Along with Bob Walk and Robbie and Smikowski, Tim Neverett on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon Kids Day here at the ballpark. Rubber game of a 3-game series. Indians winning Friday night 5-2. Pirates yesterday 1-0.
So far, not so good in this one. The way the game is going, down by 3 runs, and now Polanco has taken Marte's spot in the outfield because of injury. Don't like that.
Well, Gregor will have to go the rest of the way in left field today. And leading off for the Indians is the catcher Roberto Perez. Takes ball 1 from Garrett Cole. 222 for Perez. He had an RBI single in the second. 2-0. One thing about Cole we're noticing today, Bob, is he's starting more hitters out with ball 1 as opposed to strike 1.
Don't plan it that way. That's for sure.
2 balls and a strike.
Anytime that you talk pitching strategy with anybody on the Pirates, it's all about trying to throw a lot of strikes right away early in the count. Wanting the ball to get put in play.
2-1 pitch to Perez. 3-1. Jeff Locke yesterday threw a lot of strike ones. He retired 19 batters in a row at one point. That's the best stretch he's ever had in the big leagues. Yesterday's best big league outing. There's a chopper back to Cole. 1 out.
Well, that's the way that you stay very efficient also. You throw those strikes early in the count. And you can stay away from a lot of pitches.
Not a bad place to see the game from. Excellent place. Great view of the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, I love the table set there. It's like you're sitting in a restaurant, but it's overlooking the prettiest ballpark in America. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? If you get tired of the high table, you go over and lounge on the couch for a while. You don't even have to take a selfie because you got a cameraman right there with you.
That's 2 foul balls from Salazar. He's actually made contact twice. He struck out swinging in the second inning. And is 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts in his career. Doesn't have to pick up the bat very much. 1-2. Cole strikes him out looking. 4th strikeout for Garrett. 2 down. And the order will turn over to the top, and Jason Kipnis will come back up to face Cole.
Well, for Cole, you'd like to get this one over quickly. 2 quick outs. There's that couch I was talking about. What a place to that little area there. You can rent that out for the ball game. I mean, that's just a great addition to the ballpark this year. Every time we look out there, you can see the people that are there for the either the day or the night. They have a great time.
Terry's just taking a break.
You know, I just now realized why we get so many shots from there.
Yeah, it's obvious.
That makes
now.
a lot of sense.
No wonder every shot from our roving cameraman comes from there. He's got it figured out. Kipnis had a double in the 3rd. 1 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Miguel Cabrera now leads the American League in batting average, .350, but he's going to be out for a while with the left calf strain. Placed on the DL for the first time in his career, but he's atop the league. And then Prince Fielder of the Rangers hitting .346, and then there's Kipnis. There's the bat back after he flattens it out. Start his swing. 1-2. That's off of Cole and right to Mercer. It's a 1-6-3 inning-ending put-up. Second straight inning, the Indians are gone in order. Nothing lead. Cole okay after getting hit by that shot off the bat of Jason Kipnis. Ended up going to Jordy Mercer, who would throw Kipnis out.
He was able to kind of dance away from it a little bit. This could have been a dangerous shot back through the middle. Watch, it just catches him in the back heel. That would have been up on the ankle. That might have not been one you just walk right off the field. You can see he was really upset as he stormed down into the tunnel, but that got the heel of the shoe. I think that's a pretty good spot to get hit.
Well, we've just been told the official score is calling it a straight 6-3 instead of a 1-6-3, but you can see it hit him.
That doesn't matter. I don't care about scoring anyway.
It's an out nonetheless.
I know that it hit him in the heel. That's all that counts to me.
He's okay. No balls and 2 strikes, the count. Nothing and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Right there. Now that definitely, it didn't bounce off an air bubble.
It did not. So 2-2. Jung Ho waits for the pitch. And he lobs it over the glove of Lindor into left field. That's a base hit. Leadoff single for Jung Ho. Pirates with a man aboard.
Well, you got to do something now. I mean, you missed that big opportunity earlier when you get the first 2 guys aboard. There's a situation here where the leadoff man is on, and you're down by 3. It's not necessarily like a 1-run ball game where you can, like, you know, think, okay, we still got plenty of time. We got to make a move.
Pedro struck out swinging in the second. Speaking of making moves, the Pirates made a move today. Made a waiver claim today. Familiar face and name. Travis Ishikawa has been claimed by the Pirates from San Francisco off waivers. strike. Ishikawa had the pennant-winning home run for the Giants. 1-1 to Pedro. Salazar ready to deal with Gung off first base. .96-mile-an-hour heat.
I wouldn't feel so anxious about trying to get every time you get somebody on to push somebody over if it was a game where it looked like we're going to get to Santana, excuse me, get to Salazar early, but right now he has just been so good that how many opportunities to get leadoff hitters aboard is there going to be?
This one's hammered left center toward the notch. Oh, Toro strikes again.
Talk about what the doctor ordered right there. They had to do something to take advantage of getting that base runner on, and that's a big something right there. Big ball going deep.
Home run number 12 for Alvarez, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
And that we saw it start to come in Detroit. Pirates started getting the ball over the fence. It's what's been missing really from this offense this year. Second half of the season, we've got to hit more home runs. We don't have to lead the league in home runs, anything like that, but just move it up a couple of notches. And Pedro obviously has more power than anybody, and he could certainly be a big key to that, moving the ball forward and getting those balls over the fence.
This to the deepest part of the yard.
97-mile-an-hour fastball outside corner, but it's elevated a little bit. It's belt high. And Pedro with that great bat speed. When you get that bat of his going that fast and it makes solid contact with the baseball, it's going to go a long ways.
'13th home run that Salazar has given up this year.
Not many left-hand hitters are going to go over the notch here at PNC Park. It's 410 feet. Yeah, you got to really get it at the right trajectory, because if it's too high, it's not going to make it. But Pedro has shown many times that he has that kind of power to hit the ball out at the notch.
It's the gentleman that caught the home run ball out there with the leopard skin cap. He's going to call and arrange for the press conference. Estimated exit speed 107 miles an hour off the bat. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-2, and Mercer takes ball 3. Estimated distance 413 feet. RBIs 36 and 37 for Alvarez. Payoff pitch. Jordy to right field. Moss backing up. 1 out. One down for the Pirates now in the 5th. Stewart had the first Pirate hit in the 3rd inning. Look at that. Mustache is a little bit high, isn't it?
First of many, I hope.
Give me some popcorn.
Yeah, that's something you learn right away. When you go to a ball game, it's time to eat.
Come hungry. Stewart's done a nice job average-wise, 296. Not a power guy. A lot of singles, a bunch of doubles, 7 doubles. Nothing in 2. And a ground ball toward the middle. Lindor gets there, throws to first, and he got it. Stewart can't believe it. Clint Hurdle coming up the dugout step. I mean, Lindor made a great play just to get to the baseball. And the Pirates are challenging this call at first base.
It really was a fine play on both ends. Nice pick we're about to see at first base. Looks like he's safe.
And this call is going to get overturned. And Stewart will have himself another hit. Trip Gibson, the umpire, made the call. So he, along with the crew chief Mark Carlson, on the headsets back to New York. Lindor with the immediate reaction saying, yeah, I got him.
Now this has to be a fairly quick look. We were able to just see it right away with our first view.
We just showed it on the Jumbotron here, and gauged by the fans' reaction from what they saw. They saw this shot.
Now that's the shot that shows it.
Clearly the foot on the bag before Santana has it in the glove. The headset's coming off, and the call is overturned, and it's a base hit for Stewart. He's 2 for 2. Successful challenge for Clint Hurdle. Now 1 out and 1 on. Garrett Cole, the hitter. See if he can get Stewart over. Hard to find a seat here today. Cole peeking down at third base coach Rick Sofield. Pirates have sold out the last 2 games. Anticipating the same today. Cole bunts. This time back to the pitcher. Throw on to first. And the sacrifice works for him this time. That's his 4th successful sacrifice. And Stewart, the tying run, is in scoring position.
He'll feel a little bit better going back to the dugout now. He's moved the runner into scoring position. Hopefully a runner that will tie the game.
Josh Harrison coming to the plate now. He's 0 for 2. Struck out twice and chased a real bad ball in the 3rd inning. Josh had 2 doubles in last night's game. Ended up scoring the one and only run in the game. After Neil Walker drove him in the 6th inning. 0-1 to Harrison. Two down. Stewart at second. Sacrifice bunt by Cole got him there. And now the 0-1 pitch. Jay laid off it. The appeal at first base. Gibson says he didn't go. Josh, a .288 hitter over the course of his career with runners in scoring position. Takes a strike this time. 1-2. Salazar's 1-2 delivery. Josh, a swinging bunt. He's got a chance. He's safe. A base hit for Harrison. Stewart down to third.
I thought that might be a little bit of a close play at first base. But look, watch where Santana is.
Well, Santana just fielded that one off the bag.
Yeah, I guess that he was assuming that there wasn't even going to be a throw. Or maybe that he knew that it was going to be about a half a step late, so he decided to come off the bag early just in case it was a poor throw. Maybe give himself a chance to move quickly one way or another with that tying run rounding third.
That's the tying run right there. Chris Stewart, the one that Neil Walker will try to get in. Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach for the Indians, with a visit to Danny Salazar. 2 on and 2 out for the Pirates. A threat here in the bottom of the 5th. Pedro Alvarez, a 2-run home run after a Jung Ho Gung base hit. Started the inning, got the Pirates on the board.
Neil has been an absolute tear of late. He certainly might have the right guy up there at the right moment in this instance.
Neil is 0 for 2 today. Salazar's pitch. Walker, base hit. Ball game's tied. Stewart comes in. J.A. first to third. It is 3-3 as the Pittsburgh kid drives in another run.
Clutch. Absolutely clutch. Yeah, we did have the right guy to play at the right time.
New ball game.
Yeah, not waiting long. First pitch you saw was something he liked. I mean, it certainly is not what you would normally think was a hitter's pitch. It was a fastball down off the plate a little bit. But it's all about results. When you swing at a borderline pitch early in the count and make it out, everybody wonders, you should have been more patient. When you do the same thing and you knock in a big run like Neil said, just did, hey, you got to love that aggressiveness.
Drove in the winning run yesterday, drives in the tying run today, and Andrew McCutchen at the plate 0 for 2. He swings and hammers one toward the bullpen. There it is, off the wall. Pirates lead it. Harrison scores. Here comes Walker. He will score. A 2-run, 2-out double for Andrew McCutchen, and the Pirates lead it 5-3.
Oh, this was a good pitch to hit on the first pitch. Fastball pretty much right down the middle. I believe it was a fastball. Well, I'll take a replay of it, but it was a ball that you got to be looking for in that instance if you're going to be aggressive. Right in the center of the plate. Maybe a splitter. Yeah, it's only 85. That wasn't a fastball, but look at that location. Right down the pipe. And there it goes, right off the wall. A lot of the hitting early in the count is about confidence, and you can see that, like Walker up there, he was hot. He's confident that he's going to be aggressive. Same thing with McCutchen. He's been hot for a month and a half.
Terry Francona out to get Salazar. McCutchen chases him out of the ball game. The Pirates erupting for 5 runs in the 5th. For Cleveland, it's a different story now for Garrett Cole.
Yeah, that 5 runs looking pretty good up there right now.
So Salazar is out of the ball game.
And a part of this inning was the sacrifice bunt that Cole was able to acknowledge.
I think a number of folks thought that McCutchen's double was a home run.
Not a home run until umpire says it is.
That's right. It hit the middle of the screen off the bullpen. Here's Nick Hagedorn, left-hander. Making his 35th appearance, and he'll face the lefty Gregory Polanco.
Not the greatest numbers in the world. 282 opponent batting average. Gives you some hope.
Gregory lines it to right field, and 9 men come to the plate. Pirates bat around in the 5th. Put a 5 spot up for Cole and take a 5-3 lead.
Submitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, Toro, home run number 12 for him. He really got it going. And then McCutchen with 2 outs, blasted one off the bullpen wall. Neil Walker, the tying RBI on a first pitch base hit. And the Pirates have their first lead of the ball game, 5-3. And now Garrett Cole throwing to the shortstop Francisco Lindor. It's funny sometimes how a game can look one way and then turn around and be completely different a few batters later.
Yeah, well, we were talking about Cole with the 5-run lead. Looked like he was in a little bit better mode than when we saw him walking down the steps earlier. And now he has to show that, hey, thanks, guys. You got me back in the lead, and now I'm going to make good use of that 2-run lead.
You can see the Twitter reaction from some Pirates fans. The Point Park University tweets at the bottom of the screen.
We want to have a real good, efficient, quick inning now. Hopefully 1, 2, 3. And get the hitters right back in to that dugout, get back to the bat rack. Keep the momentum going your way.
2-2 pitch to Lindor. And a catch. Showing some of that outstanding Pittsburgh fan defense. So Lindor, a 208 hitter. 0 for 1 today, the 2-2. Toward left field, Polanco there. 1 out.
Flying in shallow, didn't have to really move back or in much, just had to go side to side. Pirates good positioning this afternoon. They've been in the right place at the right time. That ground ball earlier to Jung Ho down at the third base. He was standing right in that shortstop hole, and the ball was hit right at him. Marlins do a lot of work in their defensive positioning. Paying off this afternoon.
Outfielder Michael Brantley grounds 1-2. Pedro toss to Cole covering. 2 men out.
This is just what the doctor ordered. Did 2 quick outs after putting up that 5 spot.
We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PitDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's see your photos. Want to have some great photos from this holiday weekend? Send them on in. We may show them to everybody watching on Root Sports. Since giving up the hit to Brantley in the 3rd inning, Cole has gone through the order, retiring him in order. Got a double play hit into by Santana after the Brantley base hit in the 3rd, and has retired the next 8 in a row. There's Santana again. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Pops it up. Stewart wants it. 1, 2, 3 for the 3rd straight inning, and for Garrett Cole, Pirates give him 5 runs. He responds with a 9-pitch inning. $20,000 fans get a Starling Marte t-shirt, compliments of People's Natural Gas. The festivities begin on Federal Street with the Barrel Automotive Block Party. Live entertainment, food, and you can also stop by the Lion Kugel Bar. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. UPMC scoreboard 5-3 in favor of the Bucks. 5 runs on 7 hits. For the Indians, 3 runs on 5 hits. Hagedorn now facing Jung Ho Kang. Jung Ho swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Shallow right center. Michael Bourne with the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out in the Pirates half of the 6th.
They certainly are being very aggressive on those first pitches this afternoon. Really paid off last inning. But Salazar, 17 of the 22 hitters he faced, he got either threw a strike or somebody chased it out of the strike zone on the first pitch. That's a pretty good number, but didn't work out for him. He was making something happen, but last inning that something didn't go his favor.
Pedro last time up hit a mammoth home run. Got the Pirates on the board.
Whoa.
That came up just a little short.
Now that's not a first pitch strike.
No.
silver lining is he didn't hit the grass. It did make the dirt.
Not by much, but it did.
It just got over the edge of the grass.
Lefty's hitting .265 against Hagedorn. And again a bouncer.
He's trying to keep the ball down to Salazar. Alvarez. Too many Z's. What do you think they're talking about?
I don't know. The number of Z's?
Yeah.
Maybe. Terry Francona managed the Phillies, Red Sox, and now the Indians. Pedro swings and misses. Francona came up with the White Sox as a manager in their system in Double-A with the Birmingham Barons, and he had a pretty fun season one year when he had an outfielder named Michael Jordan playing for him. That is right into the shift. Kipnis waiting for it. 2 down. I know Terry still gets asked about that season. They got a new bus. Michael Jordan got him a bus that he felt more comfortable riding in during the course of that Southern League season, and all his teammates got to enjoy it, and so did Terry. Terry's coming out to make a change. That's going to be it for Nick Hagedorn. Pitching change timeout. Pirates up by a pair of runs, 5-3. Out there in the river. Some swimming lessons. Pirates up 5-3. Kids Day Sunday. Today the inflatable chairs given out today. Kids enjoying those when they get home, I'm sure. Here's Jeff Manship. He's been with the Twins, Rockies, and Phillies before coming to the Indians.
Only 5 innings, but pretty good 5 innings.
Makes his home in Austin, Texas. Manship's 0-1 to Mercer. Low. They want an appeal at first. Oh boy. Trip Gibson rings him up for a strike. Jordy not really agreeing with this. Well, let's see.
Yeah, not many times will that one get called as strike, I don't think.
Jordy held up. One and 2. Manship was promoted from AAA Columbus on the 18th of June. Garrett Cole watching this game with a lead instead of a deficit. He has been very good through the middle innings of this game. Mercer strikes out. Pirates gone in order in the 6th. We'll head to the 7th at PNC Park. 5-3 Buccos. Is headed to town starting tomorrow night. We're on the air here in Root Sports at 6:30. James Shields against A.J. Burnett. Then Tuesday night, Tyson Ross and Francisco Liriano. Wednesday evening, Andrew Kashner against Charlie Morton. Pirates and Padres for 3 after the Indians leave town today.
As you were saying earlier, those Padres always give us a tough go here in Pittsburgh.
Hopefully that'll be turned around, as Dan Pochash reported minutes ago. Cardinals with a 2-1 lead over the Padres in the 4th inning at Busch Stadium. And the pitch to Brandon Moss is up high, 1-0.
So 83 pitches now for Cole.
Oh, he's stopped by Pedro. Tossed to Cole. He got it. Oh, what a play. What a play by Alvarez. Outstanding. As good as they get at first base with a play like that.
Boy, the momentum really has shifted in this ball game, hasn't it? You just can feel it. Alvarez able to lay out. That ball was hit very hard. Nice timing on that. A little bit of a kind of a jab step before he made that dive. And always important for the pitcher to be there for you.
Giovanni Urshela. He takes a strike. Cole chatting over there to the backs. He's giving the ball.
Picked up his pace there a little bit when he saw the successful dive. He thought that was a base hit.
That was a ground ball to Jung-Ho. Dunn throws him out. 2 gone. Urshela is 0 for 3.
2 quick outs.
Follow the Pirates wherever you are with MLB.com. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet.
You know, Tim, you mentioned not too long ago about how in the game of baseball things can turn so quickly, and it does always amaze me to see that happen. It just was about maybe 20 minutes ago. Salazar looked like he was going to be unhittable. I mean, just cruising along, putting up those zeros those first 4 innings. Pirates not really hitting much of anything, and then They got real aggressive with him, start picking on that first pitch and pounding the ball.
Alvarez with a home run, McCutchen with a big 2-run double. Walker with a
clutch hit.
Clutch base hit for him. 1-1 pitch to Michael Bourne. That's outside. And then you've got some clutch pitching going on right now since Garrett Cole gave up the hit in the third to Brantley. He's retired 12 straight.
Very seldom do you see this team get themselves in a position where they are like, well, we can't win this one today. You know, they're just being too good. Doesn't matter what the score is. It'd be 6 runs down early in a game, say third inning. Everybody in the dugout still believes, hey, we're going to win this one. And more often than not, somehow they pull it off. They haven't had to do that much this year with the starting pitching that they've been getting. But that really, the last couple years before this season, something that they really were able to show that they were very good at. But the starters this year have kind of taken that comeback out of play. They don't have to come back very often, at least not from a big hole. Maybe 1 or 2.
2-2 to Bourne. Strike 3, got him. Strikeout number 5 for Cole. 13 straight, and he is certainly pitching like an all-star this afternoon. 7th inning stretch at PNC Park. Pirates and Garrett Cole leading 5-3.
The land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, through the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We invite you to follow the bouncing Eaton Park Smile.
Allegheny Health Network Super Mug capturing some great pictures today for us. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning with Bob Walk and Robbie Ince-Mikowski. I'm Tim Neverett. Garrett Cole
tired.
A bit of a rest right now. It's not exactly
not standing in
the on deck circle.
Yeah, just sitting next to it.
He'll get up and make it look good. And Manship delivers to Stewart, and that is a ball. Good day for that today. Guy threw it all the way up here.
Yep, got one.
Got to have the high quality H2O up here. Well, today's an overlooked day, I think, in baseball history. A big day in Indians history. This date in 1947, Larry Doby became the first African American to play in the American League. Stewart fouls it down the left field line. He was the second African American to break the color barrier. Doby also was a manager at one point with the White Sox after his playing days were over. Well, it is an often overlooked day. It's an important day, certainly, in history of Major League Baseball. Stewart pokes this one up in the air, and Perez will give it a shot, but that'll be on top of the Indians' dugout. Stewart had an infield single in that 5-run fifth. Pirates have scored 5 or more runs in an inning 6 times this year. Last time they did it was in the top of the 3rd at Detroit on the 1st of July. That was Wednesday. Two pitch. It's popped up. Shortstop Lindor behind the bag. 1 out for the Pirates in the 7th.
Stewart almost all the way to second base when that ball was caught.
Pitcher.
Talking about a guy that's back there behind the plate. Hot Sunday afternoon, catching all those pitches, and he pops up, routine pop fly. When it comes down, he's on his way to second. And an older guy too. I mean, not that he's old, but you know what I mean. It's a veteran guy. It's good to see.
Cole's had the bunt twice today. First time it was scored a fielder's choice, and he didn't have the sacrifice in the 5th. So really his first chance to swing away out there at the plate in the bottom of the 7th. He's thrown 90 pitches in the game.
He likes to swing away. He enjoys his at bats.
One ball, 1 strike count to Cole. Up high, 2-1. What'd you like most about your at bats?
I mean, just like hitting. It's just an enjoyable thing to do.
Cole grounds out 6-3. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. I thought you might say something like you enjoyed when they were over.
No, absolutely not. I couldn't wait to hit. I hit every inning. And like I said, it didn't matter what, I mean, I just wanted to get up there and play. I enjoyed playing the game of baseball, and that's part of it. Big part of it. Running the bases, love to get on the base. I like getting hit. Somebody that was fine with me. I get plunked in the arm or something, I'd head on down to first. Loved it.
Jay breaks his bat off the side of the mound. Lindor bobbles, safe at first. Indians are going to take a peek at this one. Let's see if Jay beat it out or not, whether or not Terry Francona will challenge this call at first.
I think he might challenge that.
Yeah, they were going to challenge it. Can't see from that shot there. But it was close. This will be the first Indians challenge. The second play that Lindor's been involved in that's been challenged.
I can understand why they're challenging it. It's awfully close. Don't know which way it's going to go.
Now, this might be one of those, Bob, that's just so close they can't find any clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call. This might be the best look we have, but when exactly is the ball squeezed and when does the spike touch the base?
You know, I wonder what they are looking for as far as the ball. Is it, at what point is the throw been completed?
And it's just difficult to tell from behind the fielder.
I guess when it actually touches the leather or the glove at that point, it is now a completed throw.
If I had to guess, I'd guess this call is going to stand. That is just really close to call. That's a good question. What are they looking for in that room in New York?
I heard somebody one time say it's like when the ball actually enters the pocket area of the glove. But I mean, how do they even know that? I don't get it.
And when it enters there, is it controlled? Here we're going to get the call. Yep, safe. So Harrison is aboard. So the call does indeed stand.
Well, that was close.
They are charging an error to Lindor, so Francona will come back out and make a pitching change. Of the seventh inning. 5-3 Pirates with a lead. The left-hander coming on for the Indians as Mark Zubczynski takes over for Jeff Manship, who won an inning. Struck out one, and Zubczynski makes his 38th appearance. Zubczynski appeared in game one Friday for just a third of an inning, struck out a man.
But the innings in the games, this seems really weird to me. That's a big difference. I mean, sometimes you see a difference with left-hand pitchers, but doesn't that seem extreme? 37 and 17.
It's a lot of.
That's a lot of like one hitter, one hitter, one hitter, one hitter. Not uncommon for a lefty to have a difference, but that's a big one there. Just 17 innings of work in 37 games.
Harrison takes off and swipes second base. Manages to hang on. Stolen base number 9 for Josh.
Pretty good jump. Looks like he took off on first move. Did take time to look back. The problem there when he went with a head first slide. Watch his left hand, both hands. It turned out to be a truly head first slide.
Got stuck in the mud. Not really muddy, but it's just a hard track. In fact, this field has been redone. The infield clay was completely redone after that game that was delayed by rain the other night. Manny Lopez and Crew took several hours the very next morning and scraped off all of the stuff on the infield, all the surface, and then resurfaced the entire thing. Some word now on the condition of Starling Marte for the Pirates clubhouse. He has experienced discomfort in his left side. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow.
Well, it sounds encouraging that it's just discomfort.
2-0. 3-0 now to Walker. Walker had the base hit in the 5th that tied the game. Hill swinging at the 3-0 pitch, fouled back. Walker thought he'd see a good one there. Walker's career batting average in the month of July, .338. 18 homers, 74, make it 75 now. Runs batted in July. Throughout his career, he's got one of the better July averages you're going to find. And he is aboard with a base on balls. 2 outs, first and second. McCutchen will come up, and on deck you got another lefty in Polanco, but
we're making a change here, and now
you got to do something different.
You're seeing how you get 37 games in just 17 innings. Now it'll be 38 games and still just 17 innings.
So Terry Francona will make another pitching change. This will be a double switch. As Murphy comes off the bench, he'll go to the outfield. Bourne will come in. Break it all down for you, and we come back, and the Pirates leading by 2.
switch that includes David Murphy now playing center field. Now, Murphy is in his second season with the Indians, where he signed as a free agent after playing in Texas. But the way the media got word of his signing was, well, you could say a bit unique. His daughter Faith was 5 years old at the time and was at daycare back in their home state of Texas. And that's where she can take credit to her first ever news break. You see, they were learning about Pilgrims and Indians when Faith made mention that her dad was going to play for the Indians. As you can expect, word got out on social media pretty quick, and David was asked about it, and he said, "I can't lie," and he went and confirmed the news. So maybe not the best way he wanted the announcement to get out, but it makes for a good story that David and his wife can tell Faith when she's a lot older, right, Tim?
Well, Murphy started on Friday night and came off the bench yesterday and again here today. So he has turned out to be a pretty solid contributor for the Indians. Brantley over to center field. Bourne is out. Bourne made the last out. That is where Brian Webb will go in. Webb had an interesting month of April. He went to spring training with the Orioles and then was sent to the Dodgers. Dodgers outrighted him in early April, and then that same day he signed with Cleveland. He comes from the don't buy rent category. Just rent.
Not many base hits. Like those relievers that come in and have the low opposition batting averages. Because a lot of times when they come in, the bases look like that, and a hit's going to be a run.
McCutchen has faced Webb 5 times in his career. He's 1 for 5 against him. Those were in interleague games when Webb was with Baltimore. McCutchen 1 for 3 today. Now with a 12-game hitting streak. 2 on, 2 on. 3-0 pitch coming from Webb. Tried to give it a ride and missed. Padres come in after this one today. Make sure you check out the special ticket offer for the weekday games against the Padres. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and of course Cardinals game. Sunday night baseball. We'll wrap it up right before the All-Star break. There's some tickets remaining for that game, so you want to make sure you're here for the Cardinals series too.
Having a hard time getting together on the pitch in this situation. Obviously, an important bat, but I don't know how many options you really have with a 3-1 count. Are you willing to put 2 runners in scoring position by leaving the strike zone, pitching around McCutchen, the lefty on deck? That had to be a little bit about what they were talking about. They met up for this pitch.
And there's ball 4, and the bases are indeed full of bucks.
And they decided to go breaking ball, see if they could get Kutch to swing at it and possibly walk him, but by walking him, move everybody else up.
Well, the Pirates have loaded him up without the benefit of a hit, an error, and 2 walks. And now the sacks are full for Gregory Polanco. Terry Francona's bullpen not getting it done this inning. At least not yet. They haven't given up a run yet, but
now base hit right here. Goes a long way to a Pirate win.
We got Harrison at third. That's Manship's responsibility. And we got Walker at second. He is Zipchinski's responsibility. And McCutchen belongs to Ryan Webb over at first base. base runners belonging to 3 different pitchers. 0-1 to Polanco. 1-1. Polanco came in for Marte. Was in the 5th inning. He was the 9th man to bat in the 5th. In fact, he came in with a 2-strike count and lined out to Brandon Moss in right field. Webb's 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Polanco hits it hard on the ground foul. Polanco's last hit came Wednesday in Detroit. Had a 3-for-4 day there. Since then he's 0 for 9. Webb ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Inside, pretty close. Count is even 2-2. Pitch right on the borderline. Pitch number 4.
Got lucky with that one.
He did. 2-2, and well, Gregor will step out.
Yeah, both those inside pitches were called balls.
Webb has done a solid job against left-handed hitters. They are 5 for 40 against him. 125 batting average. Gregory looking to come up with something big with the bases loaded and a 2-2 count. And he hits a ground ball to Kipnis. And the Pirates will leave him loaded. So nothing across in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Team rallying together for one of their teammates. That's Mike Aviles, and his 4-year-old daughter Adriana is being treated for leukemia, and as a show of support, most players on the team have shaved their heads. Adriana is losing her hair as she undergoes chemotherapy treatments, and as Jason Kipnis put it, it started with a few guys and went all the way through the clubhouse, but it didn't end at the clubhouse. That's owner Paul Dolan, who had his head shaved by Mike Aviles himself. Now, Aviles missed some time in May as Adriana went to the Cleveland Clinic for treatment and was placed on the family emergency medical list. Now, Aviles is not talking publicly about his daughter's condition, but he did say that the gesture means a lot to him and his family, which includes his wife and their 3 daughters. We wish Mike, his wife, and Adriana and the rest of their family best wishes as Adriana continues with chemotherapy treatments for leukemia.
That's a touching story, certainly.
Yeah, that has to really mean a lot to have that kind of support from your teammates. Tough time.
Well, some defensive changes. It's Hernandez out to left, Polanco to right, Rodriguez at first. Garrett Cole still on the hill. Roberto Perez wants time. How about the plays that Rodriguez made yesterday in the game at first base? I always see him out there again as a late defensive replacement, but he made some outstanding defensive plays in the ninth inning.
Kind of like Jay Haig, go anywhere and really be an above average defender.
Two balls and a strike. I asked Clay about him today, and I see Tony Watson warming up. He said he might be one of the best defensive first basemen in the league. And as a utility guy, it's an interesting comment to make.
Oh, we've seen him make tremendous plays in the outfield this year. I mean, he really is. It's just the same thing that we saw from Jay Hay last year. You move him around and he'll make some plays on defense and make you just look at it and say, wow, they can do that anywhere.
Pitch outside. A lot of folks groaning that wasn't strike three. Now the payoff pitch. Fouled off. And on pitch number 98 of the ball game, Garrett Cole throws it 98 miles an hour.
It was consistent. He threw the last one 97.
Well, this will be 99.
If he knew that he had done that, he would make sure of it.
Again, the 3-2. Little chopper past the mound. Mercer plays the good hop. Perez's out. One gone.
A nice high chopper. Allowed Mercer to take his time on that.
Perez 1 for 3.
Perez not real fast, so that really made it a nice easy play for Mercer.
David Murphy, the batter, swings at the first pitch and flies it to center. 2 down. Two down, top of the 8th. Garrett's had 100 pitches. It didn't look like he was off to his best start. He did get a good start in the first inning, retiring the first 3 in order, striking out 2. But the second inning, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Another run in the third on 2 hits.
Soft hits, though. I mean, they weren't hitting him hard at all. Ground balls through the infield, some off the end of the bat flares.
After giving up the base hit to Brantley in the third, he has retired 15 straight hitters. Jason Kipnis, the leadoff man, had a double back in the third and scored a run.
Gotta love everything Cole's done today, except for that first bunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, Cole set the bar pretty high for himself in all phases of the game. When he's hit, fielding, pitching. He has shown himself to be an excellent player in all facets and a great competitor. Got that little chip on his shoulder when he's out there. You almost expect him to do everything perfect.
Coltrane rolling along here. Pitch to Kipnis.
Ooh, didn't get that one. Oh, that was.
He wanted it.
That was a little too far outside.
100-mile-an-hour pitch. Triple digits on the 105th pitch of the game for Cole.
100 miles an hour.
2 outs, bases empty, payoff pitch to left field, and here comes Gorkis Hernandez to make the catch. 16 batters in a row retired by Garrett Cole. What a performance. He is through 8. Has been a star in this one. He gave up 3 runs early in the game, but has shut it down since. He has retired 16 straight Cleveland Indians. He has had some help from his defense too. Here a double play in the 3rd. Cole has figured out a way to master the Tribe today. Final out on that line drive to left field, and we knew that was his last hit. Boy, is he competitive.
Yeah, he's not taking anything for granted ever. He's into every pitch, every inning, everything he does.
A handshake from the manager and the hug.
Great job. 3 more outs.
And to think, he's still throwing 100 miles an hour, over 100 pitches into his effort today.
Strong man.
5 hits, 3 earned runs. Pirates opened things up for him in the 5th inning, down 3-0 at that point, but 5 up. John Ho takes
down 3-0, and Salazar looking extremely sharp. It's getting to be a little worrisome right about the time the Pirates decided to break through and take the game over.
John Ho, ground ball toward the middle. Kipnis will play it. There is 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Third straight sellout for the Bucks. All 3 weekend games against the Indians. Selling out 36,812 here today. 9th sellout of the season. Make sure you come out and see the Pirates and Padres starting tomorrow night. Renegades of the Rotunda are here. Sean Rodriguez takes a strike.
What Federal Street will be like this weekend. It's been shoulder to shoulder out there. All the stuff going on.
Nothing in 1-2 Rodriguez, who came in for Pedro Alvarez. With Alvarez's home run in the 5th inning, by the way, he now shares the club record in interleague home runs with Brian Giles and Kevin Young, who had 17 each. Pedro with 17 interleague home runs. Two balls and a strike. Check out some of the reaction on Twitter about Garrett Cole's performance. And a swing and a miss by Rodriguez. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, I think Cole made another case for himself to be in the Midsummer Classic in Cincinnati. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to be there now for sure. His competition to be the starter would be Max Scherzer and Zach Greinke, you'd think. But Cole has made a great case. And 3 outs to go, and he would get his 12th win. And still one more start to go before the break. His next start scheduled for Friday against the Cardinals. One out, base is empty. Sean Rodriguez up with a 2-2 count. Ryan Webb's pitch. Number up in front. Webb had to go a long way to get it. And throw to first, and Rodriguez is out.
Well, talking about that, who's going to start the All-Star game? Cole certainly would be a candidate because of his numbers also pitching Friday. So Tuesday would be fine. I mean, he can go out and start
in regular rest
and throw an inning or two, and it really wouldn't affect him. But I think that's one thing that they always have to look at when you're talking about who's going to start the All-Star games. How many days off did he have before he pitched? Sometimes if you throw Sunday, they won't let you pitch at all. They'll hold you in reserve for an emergency, perhaps. But Friday, we'll definitely see action one way or another.
All-Star starters will be announced tonight. We would expect Mark Melancon, the National League saves leader, to make another All-Star team. It's nice to see. Gone are the days when the Pirates just had one representative because they had to.
Yeah, there's been some times where we've sent one guy and really not big stats at all.
Base hit for Mercer. He's on board for the second time.
But now you get a half dozen guys you can send, and then now it's somebody's not going, maybe more than one that really has deserving numbers, but won't get an opportunity.
When you look at the Nationals, Max Scherzer, he'll be in Cincinnati, but to pitch against the Reds Tuesday, so then his next start would be Sunday, right before the All-Star break. So that doesn't bode as well for Scherzer. In the air to center field, Brantley there, and we will go to the 9th inning. Mark Melancon to come on to try to save it for Garrett Cole. Andrew McCutchen and crew with a 5-3 lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning on the UPMC scoreboard. Mark Melanson trying to close it out. The Pirates continue this homestand tomorrow as they open a 3-game set against the San Diego Padres. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. A.J. Burnett will have the ball for the Pirates. He will oppose right-hander James Shields. Both pitchers are 7-3.
A little different ERA. So
Shields at 4.14, Burnett at 2.05. Less than half the ERA of Shields. And here is Melanson, National League saves leader.
hard not to go to the All-Star game if you're leading the league in saves, especially when you look at the other numbers. 162 ERA. It's going to be a lot of tough decisions when it comes to the Pirate representatives.
Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, takes strike one. Well, Mark's going to pitch like he's hungry. He's supposed to get fed out there. They come out on the mound, get fed. Feed the other team strikes. 1-1. Lindor waiting for the 1-1 pitch from Mark. And a swing and a miss. Well, that's in ahead in the count, 1-2. Allegheny Health Network Super Mode showing us that cut fastball.
What's so good about Melanson's cut fastball is that it's fastball velocity, and that kind of sets him apart.
Down to third base, Jung Ho. Quick throw, got him, one down.
You know what I mean? We see guys that say they throw cutters, but it's like 6-7 mile an hour slower than their fastball. They're throwing fastballs at 92, and they throw a pitch at 86 and call it a cutter. Not really, but Melanson, yeah, that's a cutter. He's throwing that ball that's moving like we just were showing at over 90 miles an hour. That's a true cut fastball.
Stewart with a sign and the pitch to Michael Brantley. Ball one. Well, yesterday Locke retiring the final 19 that he saw. Melanson came in and retired the first 2 he saw before eventually getting the final out. But 21 Indians were set down in a row yesterday. Now 17 straight. Mark trying to make it 18. One and one to Brantley. One out, base is empty. Ground ball foul for strike 2.
They ran that cutter in on his hands. Try and pull it, get it out of there. You know, this is another one of those cutters. This is 90 miles an hour. Look at the ball just move a few inches in, get it toward the handle of the bat. That's the whole purpose of that pitch. You're trying to jam the hitter.
Comebacker. That's 2 outs. 1 out to go. We are at the halfway mark of the regular season, game number 81. And after 81 games last year, the Pirates were 1 game over 500 at 41-40. Get one more out right here. They will move to a season best 13 over 500. They've not been there yet this year. Highest has been 12 over 500. Sellout crowd on their feet. 2 outs. Carlos Santana the batter.
One of the best winning percentages in all of baseball.
Andrew McCutchen, a big 2-run double in that 5-run 5th. Walker another RBI. Both Walker and McCutchen extending hitting streaks. And Santana squared to bunt. He got hit.
He got one of those cutters moving in on him as he was trying to bunt. So he did what the purpose was. Why he was thinking about bunting was he wanted to get the tying run to the plate, and that accomplished it right there. Nobody was playing third, so he thought he could get a base hit, get a tying run to the plate.
So Brandon Moss at the plate. Moss 1 for 3. Moss has faced Melanson just once in his career. He's 0 for 1 against him. Pirates leading 5-3, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Runner aboard Santana. Moss at the plate, and Melanson out of the stretch throws the first pitch to Moss. It's a bouncer foul for strike 1. First Indian to reach base is Santana since Brantley reached in the 3rd inning on a base hit. Pulled foul for strike 2.
Oh, they hit a mic, huh?
Hit the microphone down by the camera well. Joe, you all right down there? He's all right. He's fine. So the Indians now down to their last strike today. Melanson's 0-2 pitch to Moss. And hangs in there.
That cutter again, trying to get it in on the left-handers.
Cleveland shirt, Pirates hat, sitting on the fence.
Yeah, another guy from Youngstown.
In the 0-2 to Moss. Yeah, it's fouled back. Brandon was with the A's for a couple of seasons, and in December they traded him to the Indians.
I wonder if they'll take a shot at that backdoor curveball now. They're really pounding him in on the fist. Number of pitches now with that cutter. Nope. Curveball, yep. He shook the cutter off twice. Now he wants to throw the hook.
Got him swinging. Got to complete the strikeout. That is your ball game. The Pirates win the series 2-1, and they are now a season best 13 over 500 at 47-34. And Garrett Cole, what a performance for him. Retired the last 16 batters he faced, and he has 12 wins and still one more start to go before the All-Star break.
Really impressive the way he took that unbelievable velocity deep into the ball game. I thought that was really a lot of fun for us to watch, and a lot of fun for the fans to see those 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour pitches after he crossed the 100-pitch threshold. Cole just every time he goes out, he does something that just makes you wonder just how good is this guy going to get down the road.
Mark Melanson has converted his 25th straight save opportunity, one off the club record set by Joel Hanrahan of 26 in 2011. A lot of good things happening here at PNC Park. And the Buccos can raise it again here today. They win it by a 5-3 score over the Cleveland Indians. Dan Potash and Kent Tekulve take it away.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Good times here at PNC Park, and good times for Garrett Cole, the first Pirate pitcher to reach the midway point of the season, not the All-Star break, 81 games played with 12 wins since Ken Brett did it in 1974. Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad at all. You know how long ago that was? I was a rookie that year.
I was
That's
4.
a long time ago.
I was 4. All right, for more on this afternoon's game, let's go back downstairs where our Robbie Inspikowski is standing by. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Dan, I got Andrew McCutcheon here. We're going to do a quick recap of the weekend. The Pirates are now a season-high 13 games over 500. No fan could get a ticket. The place was sold out the entire weekend. Garrett Cole, Jeff Locke give you 2 fantastic starts the last 2 days. How do you describe this weekend and everything that it involved?
I mean, 4th of July weekend in Pittsburgh, you know, it's nothing like it, and we're good that we're able to get 2 out of 3 here.
How about when you look at Danny Salazar? In the first 4 innings, he struck out 7, gave up just 1 hit. Then you score 5 on him in the 5th, and he can't even get through it. Why was the 5th different?
That's baseball. You just never know what can happen, and you know, we just stayed on it and just kept going. That's why you play. That's why you play at least 9.
You know, Garrett Cole doesn't give up a lot of runs. He gave up 3 early, and then he shut the door. He retired 19 straight to finish or 16 straight, excuse me, to finish the entire game. Once that happens, do you feel like once he gets on a roll as an offense, okay, that's all the opponent's getting, and how does that fuel you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's done it all year. You know, and we know he's going to give us everything that he has, and he gave up 3 early, but we knew he was going to settle in and close it out for us, and he did that, and we were able to get some runs.
Andrew, you're a 4-time All-Star. We're just a couple hours from finding out if you're going to be a starter. What would it mean to you to do that for the 2nd consecutive season?
Yeah, I mean, I can't do it without the fans, and you know, just appreciate them being in front of the computers, voting and voting and voting. So, you know, it'll be all on them. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
Andrew McCutcheon and the Buccos, Dan and Teague, series winners against the Cleveland Indians. And let's hope Kutch is starting in center field in Cincinnati come July 14th, right?
Yeah, that would certainly be nice. And Teague, you've got your iPad. Did you cast a few votes for number 22 over the last couple weeks?
I have voted numerous times, thank you.
Just numerous times?
Numerous times.
You can only do up to
on
35.
Numerous days.
Okay, all right. As we promised you earlier in the game, it's time for Miller Time, presented by Miller Lite, and it takes us back to the 5th inning, and the Lumber Company showed up like it did in Detroit for 3 games. Pedro, Walker, Kutch, all providing 5 runs and a lead that the Pirates would not give up in this game.
Yeah, this was a game, you know, where Garrett Cole got off to a little bit of a rough start, gave up the 3 runs early and said, okay, that's enough, guys. You're not getting any more. And then the offense in the 5th inning, they got all that they needed in one single inning. It wasn't one of those deals where you had to get some and then they had some on. This one here, they got up and they took the lead significantly enough where the way Cole was pitching to finish off the ball game. So, yeah, a great 5th inning for the Pirates. They got all they needed and then just handed the ball back to Garrett Cole and go ahead, big guy, do what you do. Finish it up for us.
So the Pirates take 2 of 3 from the Cleveland Indians. They're all done, but we are just getting started. Player reaction from a victorious Pirates clubhouse. You'll hear from manager Clint Hurdle. What did the first-place St. Louis Cardinals do this afternoon against the San Diego Padres? And what do you have to ask Teague? That and so much more coming your way on Pirates Postgame, presented by Allegheny Health Network, after the Pirates dispose of the Indians 5-3, your final.